Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for mid-September 2025. Just kidding. You have this old man card. It says inheritance male. You have this scarab. It says nourishment and transformation. People always ask me when these inheritance cards come up if it means that they're going to get an inheritance. And I always say, well, if you know that someone you know has passed away, then sure, yeah. But if not, then, this could represent something else. It could represent like inheriting an idea or learning something from a person, who's important for you or who's important to you, right? And, again, that person doesn't have to have been, passed away or anything. And so I think, that's really what I'm getting there is that there could be some, good advice from like a wise mentor or a person you look up to. And I'm pretty sure this has come up for you before as well, Cancer. So, it just seems like a time where you could be kind of like getting some good guidance. And sorry, if you're wondering why I'm flipping these over, it's because this deck is upside down. So there you go. But let's see what's going on for you. You have been getting these cards of nourishment for a very long time now, so I definitely feel, nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself is extra important. You have the Seven of Pentacles. It's kind of funny. You have the Tower here, but I wouldn't worry too much about the Tower. I feel that we are in a time of global Tower moments, going on. So, that could be that. But I also do feel that you could be causing a Tower moment. Sometimes I do feel that we can cause a Tower moment, which is not necessarily a bad thing. You have that Scarab card that says transformation. The Tower is just a transformation. The Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. He's looking at the results he's gotten in life, and he's saying, is it worth it or not? Is the juice worth the squeeze? And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. There might be some things in your life that are totally worth it. There might be some other things that aren't. And on top of all that, there might be some things in your life that you feel you are missing out on that you could be changing direction in life to be able to manifest or create or build or, get those things that you desire. And, I kind of feel all that. I actually feel that this Seven of Pentacles is the most important card in the reading. Again, sometimes I do a reading, and most of the time, I should say, and, I think everything is kind of working together, right, if that makes sense. And then sometimes I do a reading, and I feel one card is, like, more important than everything else, if that makes sense. And, the Seven of Pentacles, I feel, is very important in your reading. And so, as Esther Hicks says, you could be doing a lot of, like, sifting and sorting for the rest of the month, where it's like you're deciding this is worth it, this isn't. I want this, I don't want that, like a lot of that type of energy. And, I think it would be good. I said to Pisces as well, we have Mars going into Scorpio, and, a fellow water sign. And Scorpio is like a very deep energy. So Mars wants us to take action on things, right? So in Scorpio, Mars maybe wants us to go deep. And maybe what it wants for you is to like go deep into the things that you have and don't have and want and desire and dream of. And it wants you to kind of look at like what's worth it in your life and what's not. And, how can you get more of the things that you want, right? Your crossing energy is the Page of Swords. I get this. I'm going to explain this to you, right? I don't know how to explain it, really. But sometimes I feel that we know we need to look for information, but it's kind of like we resist it. We don't want to. We don't want to see it. It's kind of like how I feel, like I'll just tell you, about YouTube, right? It's like how I feel about AI. Whenever I see someone who's like publishing a video about how to use AI in videos, I resist it. I don't want to watch it, right? Because I think that, there's a lot of AI garbage, obviously, on YouTube, right? And, but, you never know. There might be some things that I could learn from it. And that's what I feel here. I hope that makes sense with this Page of Swords. Is like there might be some information that exists that could really help you, and maybe you need to, but maybe you are resisting it because, I forgot to say that this is your crossing energy. The crossing energy in a Celtic cross can be what hurts you or helps you, and I feel this is like both a little bit. I feel it's saying that not doing this, not doing research, not looking into things could be a little bit hurtful, but also doing it would help you. So, don't be afraid to like do your research or look into things or, study things basically. And, that's kind of what I would do with this Page of Swords energy. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Chariot, which is pretty good. It's your card, so whenever you show up as yourself, this puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. The Chariot is like a victory or success, so you are clearly thinking of making a change or doing something that could lead to a victory or success. I feel that you could be moving in new directions in life as well. He's leaving the city behind, and he's charging forward in a new direction. So he's making big changes, and you have that transformation card, the Tower. These are all cards of big change that you could be making in your life. And I do feel that making those big changes could be very helpful for you, or any changes that you're thinking of making could lead to a victory. I really feel for you, Cancer, there are like multiple victories that you're hoping to have, like multiple wins, that you're trying to get out of life right now. And again, I don't. This isn't going to happen overnight, but I feel good about this because it's like you're focused on it. Clearly, it's showing up in your mind. Not only that, but also in the area of your foundation, you have the Ace of Swords. It's like you're focused on winning. So, I think your mind and your foundation are really going to good places, or, you are focusing in the right way. The Ace of Swords is a laser-like focus. It says the more you focus on something, the more likely it is that you will have a victory with the Ace of Swords. And so I would make the wins that you're hoping to have, your focus. And I would take steps to make those wins happen. I also feel that some of you could be overcoming an obstacle this month. The sword is above the mountains, and the sword being above the mountains represents overcoming an obstacle or conquering some sort of challenge that you've been experiencing. So if there are any challenges in your life that you've been dealing with or, experiencing, I feel a lot of you could be overcoming those challenges. The Ace of Swords is also like balance, and I feel that you could be balancing things out in your life, which we kind of said with the whole sifting and sorting thing. That makes sense. I also feel there's it could be a very communicative time. There could be you could be getting a lot of communication right now. You have this, and then we go up to the Page of Pentacles, and then we go to the Ten of Wands. So again, one thing that you might need to be balancing out is how much time you give to other people this month, like just in general. It seems to me like you could be very popular this month, although you don't really have any cards that would say that, but not that you're not popular, Cancer, but it just seems to me like people could be really trying to communicate with you in general. It could be like bosses, your parents, friends, family members, everything. And so this would kind of say, make sure that you're taking care of your own energy as well. Next, in the area of your past position, you have this Imperfect Harmony card and this Great Big Love card. It's like, I feel like you're more willing to be messy in a good way here, Cancer. It's like sometimes I think we just want to have an easy life, but really we don't. And I know that sounds weird, but, it's like sometimes like trying to have an easy life is not necessarily a good thing. I'll give you a great example. If you never stick up for yourself because you're never trying to rock the boat, usually that doesn't work out too well for people. And so, again, I feel that you could be moving past that type of energy where, kind of like that people-pleasing energy, or, maybe that's something that you're working on healing inside of yourself, and maybe you're not afraid to, rock the boat, so to speak, anymore, or maybe you're not afraid to, stand out for whatever reason you want to stand out for, and I feel that's a good thing. You have the Five of Wands. Again, Five of Wands is conflict and competition. It's like, again, I think, as we get older, of course, right, we realize that, there are certain people in our lives that are just always going to cause a problem, and there's nothing we can do about it. So, I kind of feel that. The other thing I feel here is I do feel that you are not afraid of competition. You have the Chariot and the Ace of Swords. These are both cards of victories. Some of you could be doing something that is competitive, like in work and business, something like that. And I would encourage that. Like, if you have a position that there's a lot of competition for that you want to get, I would go for it. I feel this is almost encouraging you to, throw your hat in the ring. I think it's encouraging you to enter into anything that could be competitive because you probably are going to win. Chariot, Ace of Swords. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this Priest card, and what do you know? You have this Conversation card. I'm telling you right now, I feel there's a lot of communication coming in for you. I felt it with that Page of Pentacles, which we'll talk about next. And, so again, you're going to be popular as far as people communicating with you is concerned. I would just make sure to balance the energy. I don't think this is a bad thing at all. Obviously there could be a good reason for it. The priest card is, kind of makes a lot of sense. We have Neptune is starting to head back towards Pisces, and it will be in Pisces in the middle of October is when it officially moves back into Pisces. But Neptune in Pisces is like a direct challenge to traditional belief. So all of us, we all have certain beliefs that we've always believed just because. And Neptune in Pisces is like, why? Why do you believe this, that, or the other thing? And I feel like you have all these cards that ask you to nurture yourself here. And I feel it's saying that, you need, it's like encouraging you to believe in yourself more is kind of the feeling I get here. It's encouraging you to do things to believe in yourself more. And that's what I would do with these cards. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, a lot of communication. Again, normally we look at the Knights in the Tarot as communicators, which is true. But I look at the Page of Pentacles also as a messenger sometimes. So I feel that you are going to be popular. Like people could be asking a lot of you the rest of this month. And I actually feel until like through October. And you have that 10 of Wands. So you are going to have to sift and sort out who you can give what to, right? You only have so much energy during the day. And I would make sure that you are only investing in things that, fulfill you, that give you energy, that return energy to you. It's also an amazing card for learning. This is a card of studiousness. And again, this might make sense to some of you. I would be learning those things that you are resisting. I don't really feel like you're resisting it. But there might be a little resistance to learning something that could help you. And I tried my best to explain that. I know the feeling, Cancer. If that message is for you and it makes sense, you probably know what I'm talking about. And, again, I think learning is going to be the best thing for you. Next, in your outcome row here, you have this sibling card. It says caring, support, rivalry, and role models. You have this animals card. It says instinct, emotion, wisdom, and guides. Yeah, we are in a very good time for, especially for water signs to, tap into their higher self, their guides, their ancestors, their siblings, their role models, their mentors. All those things could be very helpful and, in guiding you forward and helping you move forward as well. So people are going to be important, but again, it seems to me like there are some people that are and some people that aren't, and that is what you are sifting through this month. Next, in the area of the next few months, we have the Tower. Again, we are in a time of global Tower moments. I haven't been wrong about this, and it is what it is. Basically, we have to, we just have to pay attention, I feel. But I also don't feel bad about this, Cancer. We'll see what happens when we clarify this reading, but, I kind of feel like you are the one that is creating the shakeup. Is that a bad thing? No, I don't think so. I also always say that Tower moments do not have to necessarily be bad. And, the Tower moment is about accepting reality. These people they've been ignoring reality inside this castle, and now they're coming down and correcting, they're seeing reality for how it actually is. But this is like a good thing because this is something that could make them successful. And, again, I really don't feel bad about this. The other thing is that, if you want to move, some of you could be thinking about moving or traveling. You have the Chariot down to the Tower. So this could also just say that you are moving. Next, in your closest relationships, you have the King of Wands. This is all relationships in your life. I feel a lot on this card. Number one, I feel it's saying you're going to have to take the lead in your closest relationships. You're going to have to be the one who kind of, is deciding who to give what to, energy-wise, right? And so I would definitely do that. The other thing is that the King of Wands, he's a little bit of a visionary, and he is kind of, he has the gift of foresight. He can see the future. I feel like those types of people, futuristic thinkers might be the best people for you because, King of Wands, again, he's like innovation. He can represent innovative thoughts and innovative ideas. Those are the things that could really help you at this time is like tapping into that type of resource. So, people who are innovative thinkers, people who are forward thinking, things like that, because, they could help you kind of rebuild whatever you're trying to rebuild here or do whatever you're trying to do. Next, over your next few months, you have the Ten of Wands. Again, Ten of Wands, I don't feel bad about either. You might be experiencing some burdens, but he's also very close to achieving his goal. And so I feel a lot of you, if you've been putting in the work or whatever you've been putting the work into, you are very close to achieving what you've been trying to achieve for a long time. So like I said, I don't necessarily feel bad about this at all. I feel like this could be a good thing and, could be leading to some success for you. I would lighten the load. Like I said, the Ten of Wands, I do personally like the Ten of Wands, but I also always tell people he needs to see the forest through the trees, right? He can't see in front of his face because those wands are all in front of his face. So a great thing to do with the Ten of Wands is to make sure that your responsibilities are your own. Sometimes we carry the responsibilities and burdens of other people, and the Ten of Wands says you need to release some of those things so that you can see where you're going. And, I definitely feel that energy here for you on the Ten of Wands. But, again, whatever you've been working towards here, Cancer, I feel there's like success coming in. You have the Strength card. Strength is patience, but it's also about working on your inner voice, right? Becoming stronger, literally becoming more bold, which, yeah, I think Cancer has been doing this for a long time. So I feel you are becoming more bold, more assertive, more willing to put yourself out there. She is taming this lion, which is her inner voice, and I feel a lot of you are kind of taking control of your inner voice, and that's exactly what I would do. I also think it's interesting, she has this figure 8 over her head, or this infinity symbol, which is, cause and effect, or, what you give out is what you get back, right? And the whole entire reading, the main message here has been that you need to pay attention to, like, what you're giving and what you're receiving. So that is going to be important as well. Very important. Here you go, another figure 8. With the 7 of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, you have the Magician. He also has the infinity symbol up here. So, the Magician is kind of like as above, so below. The Chariot is also as above, so below. The Magician can represent manifesting things and creating things, using the right tool for the job. And again, this could be part of the Tower moment as well. He has this snake here, and it's the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail. It represents reinvention. And so a lot of you, if you are changing, if you are reinventing yourself, then obviously, again, you could be causing tower moments for other people. But again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just says that you're changing. And it's like whenever we change, yeah, of course, we're always going to have those people in life that don't like it, or, that don't want us to be different or whatever. But the Magician says you have to kind of step into your power anyway. The Magician is also about the tools. He has all the ace versions of the suits in front of him here. And so he needs to make sure to use the right tool for the job. And whatever it is that you're doing in life, I would make sure that if one way to do something doesn't work, try something else. It is funny that he's pointing towards the Page of Pentacles. And we right here, we were talking about resisting learning using another tool, right? So maybe there is like another tool in whatever it is that you want, Cancer, there might be another tool or another way of doing things that you could learn that would make you successful much faster. With the Chariot, you cannot make this up. You have the 5 Wands. If there's any competition or anything competitive you want to do, or if you want something that is competitive, I would go for it because of this and this right here. Definitely could be a victory or a win, or you could be standing out above the competition. So I would definitely do that. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Lovers. Yeah, it could be a little bit of love. Again, we are in a good time for love in general, so if you want love, there could be a lover or love coming in for you. The Ace of Swords could be like the truth, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of you found out you had like an admirer. With the Page of Pentacles here, you could be communicating with an admirer. I feel the whole entire reading is talking about what you love as well, Cancer, with this great big love card. So doing more of what you love, or, putting energy into things that you love is also going to be important with these cards, but this looks pretty good. With the 5 Wands, you have the Star, which is good. Whenever we have a reading with the Tower, if we get the Star, that is a good thing. This kind of would represent healing from a Tower moment. The Star is like hope, faith, and renewal. It's kind of like, this reading kind of says to me that you can be the Star. You can have a victory. It's like the reading is pushing you towards a victory or something along those lines. And it's like if you do nothing, then you're not going to have it, obviously. So, I want to encourage you to like go for something competitive or something where there is competition. That seems to me what it's obvious to me, I should say, that the reading is pushing you in that direction. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant, which could be marriage. But again, we talked about that. It's funny that this is coming up where that priest card came up, right? Because the Hierophant is kind of like a priest, right? He's kind of like a pope here, sitting on his box here on the Hierophant. The Hierophant communicates with heaven and earth, right? He is able to translate the messages from heaven down to earth. And so a lot of you could be, getting messages from your higher self, from your intuition, from your guides, your ancestors, whatever you want to call it. And, I think it's time for you to maybe create a little bit of heaven on earth, which is really actually the Nine of Pentacles. But I kind of get that energy here with the Hierophant that you could be, being asked to, make the world a better place through creating something amazing or, having that victory in your life. With the Tower, you have the Strength card again. So, yeah, I feel like you easily have the strength to create this shakeup. Again, sometimes I think we have to create a shakeup in life. So I want to stress that I don't think this Tower is a bad thing. I feel that, sometimes we just have to create a shakeup. Sometimes that's what life requires, right? And I feel this is saying you're more than strong enough to do this. You've been probably prepared for this for a long time as well. And, I would just do it, whatever the shakeup is. It's like maybe you're moving, maybe you're, want to change your jobs, and maybe that's going to create a shakeup for your boss or the people that you work with. But, it's like time, and because it's going to lead to a victory, whatever this is. Sometimes I also feel like whenever I get stuff like this, like the, Five of Wands or the Chariot, the Ace of Swords, that, it's like if you have a job and, you have a friend and they also want a promotion, but you also want the promotion, it's like that, that might upset your friend that you want to get a promotion, right? So that they want. And it's like some of you, I feel like you need to have the strength to realize that you're the one that deserves it. So, why should you not get it? With the King of Wands, we have another card of a victory, the Six of Wands. Major victory, clearly, for you this month, at the end of the month here. Well, again, I don't want you to think this is something that's just going to magically happen. Again, I wish I could say that, but it seems to me like you're going to have to enter into something competitive to have this, right? But he's earned his right. I always like to remind people the thing about the Six of Wands is that he's earned the right to be on his high horse here. He's earned this victory, and I feel like you've earned something. You've earned this. You've earned your place in the world. You've earned the right to, have something. And, it's like I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, Cancer, but it's like all the parts of you have been created to have something. It's like you've earned it. I feel like you are, maybe a better way to put this is that you are an energetic match to something. And that's what you need to realize. Chariot, Magician, as above, so below. So that is why you deserve something, and I feel you need to, whatever, I'm speaking very generally because this feels very general to me. Like it could be love, it could be a person, it could be a business, a job. It's like you already are the match, so you need to have that victory. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Eight of Wands. Yes, if you lighten the load, I feel things will move much faster. Eight of Wands, the trick, well, let's put it this way as well. I always say the Eight of Wands is my card of creating a slip and slide in life. We have to smooth out the friction. We have to look for places where we get slowed down, and we have to do things to either eliminate the things that slow us down or smooth them out. Life isn't perfect, so there will always be obligations we have that we can't avoid. But it's basically saying, like, what can you do to avoid things in your life that no longer serve you, or, can you smooth them out? Can you make them better? And if you do that, things will get better. With the Strength card, you have the Three of Swords. Yeah, amazing month for you to heal your heart, for sure. It wouldn't, basically everyone in the eclipse readings I did had the Three of Swords. And so it wouldn't surprise me if everybody in this set of readings gets the Three of Swords, because I feel like the eclipse in Virgo is really, on the 21st, is really encouraging people to heal their heart, to let go of the past, all those things. And we're not even just talking about love. We're talking about, every sense of healing and, forgiveness. You have the Ace of Swords as well, which is also sometimes a card of like forgiveness or healing or letting go. And so I think it would be a great time to do all that, Cancer. You have this April card in this fair band. It says, dealings or relationships with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. Now, if you're looking for love, you always get Taurus with me. At least the past few readings. You have the Hierophant here. Page of Pentacles could be an earth sign. So if you're looking for love, you could be meeting a person that's born in the month of April. Doesn't have to be, but definitely possible. Can't make this up. You have this love card, so, again, definitely could be love. I think the whole entire reading, I mean, you are a Cancer. You are like the sign of love. So I feel that just nurturing things that you love in general would be a good idea, but also could be a person. You have this caterpillar. It says, things will not always be this way. A change is coming. Yes, I think there's a big change, major change with that tower, and the change is you. You are the one that's changing. Again, whenever you develop a backbone in life, it's like people aren't going to like it. And, I feel this is a very water sign thing. It's like every water sign, I think from a karmic perspective always goes through this in life where, they decide that they're going to stick up for themselves. They decide that they're going to speak their mind, and they're going to decide that they're going to, win a competition. Right? And people are like, what are you doing? You have been my emotional sponge my entire life. What the hell are you doing? Sticking up for yourself, right? And so, I don't know. There you go. That's the tower moment that you could be causing for people. You have this leg card. It says, stepping into new experiences. Tower just wants us to cause a shakeup sometimes. The tower, they've been ignoring reality. They are entering into reality. They're entering into new experiences. Chariot, your card, the Chariot. He is leaving behind what he's always known, and he's entering into a new time, a new experience. You have this bold card that says plenty of material things. It's going to be worth it, I think, and I also think you earned something, but you have to, maybe the right way to put it is that you have to claim it by, entering into a competition or doing something that's competitive, doing something that requires a backbone, something like that here, Cancer. But I like this. I like where it's going. I feel like this is a new and improved Cancer that's coming up here. But it looks good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.